David Plouffe, I spent, a very, very, very teeny part of my career with a little bit of visibility into Corp Comm. And I know there are always a lot of people around the table when companies make decisions. So I'm not suggesting that a communications person thought this was a good idea. But how did a communications person at the table not prevail in articulating what a bad idea it is for companies to stand with a law that, again, solves a problem that doesn't exist?
Yeah, it's super puzzling, Nicole, especially because this is not going to be a Georgia issue. We're going to see laws already introduced all around the country, but the bar is going to be raised now for Republican elected officials to meet the Georgia standard. So all these companies need to speak up. And this isn't a partisan dispute where you say, oh, shucks, we tried our best to improve a bill. This is literally whether our democracy survives. So there's so many odious parts of the Georgia bill and all the legislation around the country that's been introduced. But let's zero in on this. The most problematical part of it, and that's saying something, is that basically Republican elected officials in Georgia now, if they don't like the results of an election, can swoop in and overturn it. It's what they're trying to do in Arizona. So everything's on the line here. And there's no gray area. You're either for democracy, against voter suppression, but also if we allow in states like Georgia for elected officials who don't like the result of the outcome of an election to say, you know what, we found a reason for that election to be overturned. We should just turn out the lights, Nicole. Like the country's over, our democracy's over. So these companies need to understand the threat here is incredibly pronounced. And I don't think you're going to want to be operating in a country that no longer is a democracy.
Okay, you need to hit pause and really explain to people what that means, because this is, to me, what I find the most horrific. If you just replay it 4 months, imagine what would have happened 4 months ago if all the states where Trump sought to meddle and overturn the results had the Georgia law in place. David Plouffe, just play out what could have happened.
So what could have happened is you would have had Republican legislators, and they have huge majorities in both chambers there, and a Republican governor, say, we think there's enough reasons here. Alleged fraud, ballot signature changes that, Trump was belly aching about, to overturn the election. And now they would have the ability to do that. And so elections officials, county elections officials, state elections officials in Georgia, but again, we're going to see this now all over the country. They want that power now to go to the legislature. So, yes.
Let me just interrupt you for 1 sec, David Plouffe. We've got a live picture right now of President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden, who are right now at this moment at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington. They're there to commemorate National Vietnam War Veterans Day, a day honoring, obviously, the veterans who served in that war. Let's watch. David Plouffe, we don't expect any comments. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I didn't want to miss that. Go ahead.
So that's why this is such an enormously important deal, Nicole, is for the first time in American history, you're going to have states, in Georgia, they've already done this, say that if elected officials, politicians don't like the result of an election, they can turn it over. So let's get to what we need to do about this. If the United States Senate doesn't pass the For the People Act, if federal voting rights legislation is not passed in Washington, our democracy literally is on life support. So yes, there will be lawsuits filed. Some of them will be successful. Some of them won't. We have to. This is even more important than the pandemic. It's more important than immigration. We need to do all those things. And Joe Biden's making great progress on them. But if we do not protect this democracy and safeguard it, we know what's going to happen. The Republican Party right now is led by the autocratic wing. And so if these laws are successful all around the country, again, I think we're counting the length of this democracy in a matter of years, not centuries anymore.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.